Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled People. In today's episode, to all the people that went to small towns for spring break during a pandemic and ransacked every store before leaving, fuck you. Do you know who I am? Entitled Todd and his mosquito horde. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. To all the people that went to small towns for spring break during a pandemic and ransacked every store before leaving, fuck you. I live in a small tourist town that brings hordes of people on holiday from all over. Not only are most of these people so entitled, belittle the locals, and generally treat the whole county like it's a theme park, you motherfuckers bought out all our daily and basic essentials before you left town this past weekend. The stores are desperately trying to recover from you animals so that us locals can barely get what we need. And now that the city has called for no gatherings larger than 50 people, all the stores are only letting 20 people in at a time. Do you even understand how impossible that is in a town of 12,000? It's Monday and we have nothing. Nothing. No water, no bread, no rice, no beans, no canned goods, no teepee or paper towels, no milk, no butter, no flour, no batteries, no baby food, no diapers, and no medicine, just to name a few. To all of you who thought that it would be no problem to hoard a small town's resources during a pandemic before you went back to your own city after holiday, you disgustingly entitled pieces of shit. Whoa! That's not just entitled. That's selfish and presumptuous. I hope you can make it through this, and I hope those shop owners will chew out the tourists for what they've done. The tourists are all gone home. There is no one to chew out. It's just us locals trying to scrape through what's left. As someone that lives in a tourist town, albeit not small, I'm so glad they've started heading home. They clog the roads during rush hour in the morning and after work. We can't shop on the clock at my store. So, we got to watch as everyone took everything. Our trucks are limited right now with what we're getting. The crazy hoarder, panicking people are destroying the rest of us. Do you know who I am? I was at the pharmacy, and there was a bit of a line. There was only one woman working, taking care of customers, answering the phone, filling prescriptions, totally multitasking. She was going as fast as she could, and I felt so badly for her. Enter Karen. Your typical short blonde hair, whiny voice, and entitled attitude. She starts huffing and puffing, saying things under breath, and then she starts being more vocal. Come on. I have things to do. This is unacceptable, it's taking way too long. Why doesn't she hurry up? Isn't there anyone else working here? At this point, I was starting to lose my cool. I don't like to see people being abused. I turned to her and said that the woman was alone back there and doing her best. I don't care. I need my prescription. I don't have time to wait. I turned to her again and said that the woman was obviously flustered and doing what she could the fastest she could. Karen says, well, she needs to move faster. I have places I need to be. I turned toward her and said, you need to calm down. Then Karen said the best Karen line we all know, do you know who I am? I said, yes, you're Karen. She goes, my name is not Karen. Why would you call me that? I said, because you complain and are an overall joy to be around. She huffed and puffed some more, and then it was my turn. I admit, I asked the pharmacy tech a bunch of questions. I felt badly about holding up the line, but being able to make Karen wait, and even become angrier, was too delicious to pass by. Anytime someone asks, do you know who I am? The correct response is to turn around to all the people there and say in your loudest voice, does anyone here know who this person is? They seem to be having a memory problem, and don't know who they are. Can anyone help? When it happened to me, I said I did not know who they were. They told me. I said so? She went and found my boss, lol. I have a friend who works in a coffee shop on a block where one family owns several of the buildings, but not the coffee and cake shop. There are a couple of members of that family that used to do the "do you know who I am" nonsense. The shop owner had a list of responses for her employees to use, such as "no, but if you sit near the window, maybe someone will recognize you," and "do I get a prize if I get it right?" They don't ask anymore. You weren't wrong. These entitled assholes need to know they're wrong. As a pharmacy tech, we appreciate people like you. When I worked retail, these are the kinds of people I would take my time on. "Oh, you want to wait on your prescription? It's going to be an hour, maybe longer." Really, it would have been 20 to 30 minutes. I would never help them call their insurance or doctor with an issue. "You're going to need to contact X about this." There's nothing I can do. However, if you were one of our favorites, we'd go 200% for you. We have laws against "just slap a label on it." Entitled Todd and his mosquito horde. By now, we all know that Todd's house was in foreclosure when I moved in next door. What I haven't mentioned is that Todd was very bitter and angry about this. He was very vocal about how the foreclosure was not his fault. The fault lay with the banks, his ex-wife, and even the other neighbors, because they drove up home prices by keeping their homes nice, I guess? Todd had taken out gargantuan home equity loans and defaulted on them. From what I had heard from other neighbors, the bank was actually going to pay him a bonus if he didn't trash the house when he left. Entitled Todd was living there for free and not actively destroying anything, but he also wasn't taking care of anything. If something broke, he just didn't fix it. If it looked bad or inconvenienced anyone, not his problem. When I moved in near the end of summer, Todd's in-ground pool was about half full of water. It wasn't pretty water by any means. It was gross. It was scary. When the wind was right, it was fragrant. For some inexplicably reason, Todd eventually drained that disgusting pool of water into the street. That was fine, I guess. Now I could see an ugly empty bowl in the yard next to me, but at least I wasn't concerned about whatever horror movie creature would crawl out of there at some point. Then it rained. And Todd's ugly empty bowl got a little water. Not a lot, but enough for the mosquito bowl to open up for business. The mosquitoes came to stay and they made our lives miserable. To say our neighborhood was infested with mosquitoes is not doing it justice. We literally could not go outside without getting eaten alive. They came in hordes. If you killed one, 3 more took its place. We all invested in whatever pest repellent we could to keep the hordes at bay, but nothing was working well enough to remain outdoors more than a few minutes. The neighbor on the other side of me, Joe, talked to Todd. Todd was apparently unrepentant. Joe offered to drain Todd's pool for him and Todd refused, told Joe to stay off his property. Todd and Joe did not like each other, never did. The neighbor across the street called the city to complain. The city came out and talked to Todd. Todd explained that his pool equipment was broken and he wasn't inclined to do anything about it due to the foreclosure. So the city put fish in his pool. I highlight this because I had never heard of this before. But, yes, the city put fish in the pool to eat the mosquito larvae to help keep the population down. This actually worked a little. The hordes were thinned but not eradicated. The summer finally ended, the hordes left, died, and we could venture outdoors again. But, like it usually does, summer rolled around again and the same thing happened. It rained, mosquitoes started hanging out, having one-night stands, propagating, and bam. It was Mosquito Horde, the sequel. The city was called, the fish were brought, and we were absolutely miserable. Joe again approached Todd with his offer to drain the pool and Todd again refused. We dealt with the horde for about 4 to 5 weeks the summer prior. Where I live, mosquito season can last 6 months. Our misery this summer was only beginning. Luckily, Joe was unemployed and had all the time in the world. Todd worked. One day, Todd left his house, Joe grabbed a hose, climbed over my fence, with my permission, and drained Todd's pool. Every single time it rained, which was not often, Joe waited for Todd to leave for work, climbed over my fence and drained that pool. He was our hero. Joe is a jerk, and I have some stories about him, too, but that summer, he was the man. That marked the end of Todd's reign as he moved away at the end of that summer. Mosquito dunks are a few bucks for a pack of 20. You drop them in a bucket of water or puddle, and it releases a bacteria that kills only mosquito larvae. Works much better than fish for standing water. If only we had known that then. We will take all of your neighbor stories. You have my sympathy. In Scotland we have midges in the summer, and at sunset you just cannot go outside because of the little bastards. We always say that at least they keep the English tourists away. They're always a silver lining. I bet that Todd has made your neighborhood a mere tight-knit community. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.